One of the Aaron Austin Show's favorite sponsors is R&J Discount Liquor. We find they have the best selection of bourbons and whiskeys probably in town.
Yeah, make sure you get with Dustin in there. That guy knows his stuff. He'll always point you in the right direction, and everything they got there is always at a good price. It's at Douglas and Hillside. Anytime you need some booze, go down to R&J's.
Diaper Jam 2025, once again coming to you from Bourbon Street Bar and Grill on South Seneca.
Make sure you get out there April 19th. Aaron and Austin Show's going to be there all day long.
We got loads of bands and vendors. It's going to be a really good time. You should come out.
Bring a pair of diapers. You get into the door for free. Not 2 pairs. 6 pairs.
Yeah, me too. I need.
I don't know why I got pairs in my head.
Please wear diapers. It's a Diaper Jam.
He did wear diapers.
Yeah. Sacred Leaf is Wichita's favorite CBD store in town. Go check out Nikki. Tell her that the Aaron and Austin Show sent you. For the best selection of gummies and the highest possible legal THC that you can find in Wichita, go check out Sacred Leaf.
Whiskey Dick's definitely an Aaron Austin Show favorite. Get out there anytime. They have specials every day on food and drinks. They got happy hour from 3 to 6. And how many whiskeys they got in that place, Aaron?
I think they have the most whiskeys in town. And every Monday you can do any whiskey under $25 a shot for half price.
I think there's 700 plus in that building.
Probably so. So Mopigs is just north of West and Central in the old Game Exchange building.
And there's really, you can find a little bit of everything from collectibles to Pokemon cards to action figures to video games. They have a lot of cool stuff in there, and you can also get art by Stephanie Nash. Make sure you check out Mopigs and everything. PK Pest Management. For all your pest control needs, get with Austin or contact 316-305-7108. And it's also fly season, so if you need that fly spray, get with it.
On Tuesdays, you can usually find the Aaron and Austin Show hanging out at the Cowboy Inn. It's one of our favorite sponsors. Every Tuesday they have a open mic there hosted by Jacoby Lee Winter.
So get down and check us out on Tuesday nights and check out the Cowboy Inn all the time.
Check out the Rusty Nail for everyday food and drink specials, especially Hammer Time. Every day from 4 to 7, half-price drinks. And on Saturdays, we have some of the best live music in town.
Get with PK Pest Management for all of your pest control needs. 316-305-7108. For any termite inspections or anything under the sun, we'll take care of any problem that you have.
Be sure you visit the Jukebox on Seneca and Walker. They have great daily drink specials and karaoke and live music on the weekends. Go check out the Jukebox.
Great food today from Papa C's food truck, Papa C's barbecue.
Yeah. I had a little brisket mac. That was good.
I just ate straight brisket today. We went down, didn't we, Annie?
Yeah, you went about a half pound of brisket.
Yeah, we went straight brisket today. It was delicious.
It was
Thank
good.
you.
It was yummy.
And we always love to get Angie's tacos at the Cowboy after. Angie's got the tightest tacos in town, so make sure you get over there.
If you make that her slogan, I swear to God.
I'm trying my hardest. But and she's also at Shamrock some nights, so follow Angie's Tacos.
She's
all
been
over the place.
expanding. Yeah,
Yep.
she's been doing it.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
Episodes. Well, we're talking about people burning to death in fires. So how was that?
No. There was a big fire. I didn't know it was in Latham, but over by Winfield.
Yeah.
And like we smelled smoke in the air for
the
whole day, man. It was
Smelled
big
yeah.
fire.
It was.
We weren't smelling dead body parts, right? We're not.
No.
Okay.
Is that a hobby?
The house was actually.
You never know what goes on in them
the
weird
house
little
was
cities
actually
outside
abandoned.
of them little towns outside of Wichita.
Sometimes it's a hobby.
No, it was an abandoned house.
It was an abandoned house, but I mean, it was a nice house, and it was big. It was massive, and
Did the people probably in there accidentally caught it on fire? Probably, huh? That were squatting in it.
there were grass fires being done, controlled burn grass fires. So I think maybe that's I don't really, fire is fire's department, and I don't ask a lot of questions. I show up, I do rehab on the firefighters, make sure they're okay. Right. If there was people in the house and they came out, I'd be dealing with whatever's going on from being in the fire.
But no, it's burning season, so very likely that's what happened. It just had a field get out of control. And
so let's start it off like just super positive. What's the most gruesome shit you ever seen?
I was actually asked that question here a while back. What's the craziest thing you've ever seen? I said, me in the mirror after doing this for all these years.
Yeah, I mean, that's tough, and I'm not going to lie, all jokes aside, it takes even people to be on those scenes. It takes something special. Nurses and first responders and all those people that I can't handle looking at that shit.
Yeah, so if you haven't caught on, Steve is an EMT.
Correct. And heavy rescue technician.
Heavy rescue technician. So everything crazy.
What goes into
your
the heavy
daily
rescue
life,
part of that? What is that? You just get the
Those
big ass fat people, or just
those are the big, complicated rescue operations when you have cars twisted up and you got to get the person
heavy equipment.
out.
Is that the difference? Like a heavy equipment?
Yeah, kind of. I mean, when you talk about heavy rescue, there's a heavy rescue truck, and it's pretty heavy. It's a big ass toolbox on wheels. You've got like air pumps, like these. They're this thick, right? And they will lift 46 tons.
Damn.
You hook them up to air, and they will lift 46 tons.
Holy
so you've
shit.
got a bunch of that stuff. You've got
you got a little bit of everything you need. You never know what you're going to need.
Ours has a crane. So it's like anything that's like, I guess, a more complicated rescue, I guess, would be classified as heavy rescue.
Wow.
A lot of rope rescue operations can be that,
you get any confined space
depending
stuff?
on its high angle or what's that?
Do you guys deal with any confined space stuff?
There is confined space stuff. Now, the only confined space I've ever practiced is grain silo rescue.
Oh, cool.
Oh, wild.
And
That's some sketchy shit.
dude, yeah.
There's a lot of people don't realize how dangerous those grain silos are, as far as the dust particles and the way you can sink in them like sand and all kinds of crazy shit.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
just basically
all
a
of
big
these,
bomb.
Yeah, to a
They
point.
are,
It is.
yeah. They are a powder keg, just kind of waiting to go.
Well,
There's a
with
certain
all
way
that in
you
the
got to
air.
do
Yeah.
it, and you have these safety measures in place, and then maybe everything will go okay. Usually
you
it
hope.
does.
Yeah.
But all these rescues are actually really dangerous. I mean, when you've got a semi truck that hit a median on the freeway in the dead of winter when it's icy, just over a hill.
Especially,
You know?
I mean, especially
Oh,
this,
yeah.
especially this January and February. I mean, this was one of the worst
Oh yeah.
snows and ice storms we've had in this area in a long time. And there was I-70 was impassable for months, a whole month almost. So I guarantee you guys had a lot of fun during that time.
Yep.
That's a lot of crazy shit. But I always say hats off to the people that can go out and take care of that stuff, because those things are hard to walk up on and hard to be a part of and go home later. Do you do that? Do you do the same stuff?
No, I do human trafficking rescue.
Oh, okay.
I do investigations. I do close protection. I do a little bit of everything. I work out of an investigations firm here in Wichita, and I'm involved in a lot of other entities like Project Lighthouse, Operation Underground Railroad.
You're doing some bodyguarding for some pretty high-profile people.
I've done
last
that.
I talked to you.
Yeah, I've done that in the
Remember that?
past. I've done some work for the Attorney General, Gilbert Godfrey, Bill Graves. I've done different things over the
Nice.
years.
How'd you get into all that?
It started out kind of a...
You
when
be
I
a badass, and they find you, brother.
Well, when I come from a law enforcement family.
Okay.
So
That's what I asked. Do you have like military or police background?
Yeah,
or?
there's military and law enforcement in my family. I was
Okay.
never military, but I did do law enforcement. I was a Central County Sheriff Reserve here for a little while, and then I got into doing fugitive recovery. I did that for a while. I've done.
So you were rolling like fucking Tommy Lee Jones out there, fucking being a U.S. Marshal,
Yeah, well,
getting fugitives.
yeah, kinda. It was, a lot of local stuff. We would dip down into like Oklahoma, Texas, places like that where we could, depending on the job. But
Hunting fugitives always seemed like kind of a cool job. I'm sure it's not. I'm sure it's dangerous as shit, but
it can get-
the movies make it seem really cool.
it can get frustrating. But if you have a good crew, it's the guys that you work with.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, I mean, that makes all the difference. If you got guys that you can trust and you work with and they're squared away, then yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Well, really, for any job that people would consider suck.
Yeah,
You know what
I mean,
Like,
that's what gets you through.
If you like the people you work around, it sucks a lot.
Well,
less.
sometimes what's funny about those is the harder the jobs and the suckier the jobs are, the better the people are that you work with.
Well, and the
Like-
more that trauma
like-
brings us together.
Yeah,
Whatever that shit.
yeah, because
was, like,
you've been
you
through
know
some
what I
shit together,
yeah,
and
that is a thing.
Yeah.
yeah, it
you
is.
know,
when you can look each other in the eye and we've all seen the same shit and dealt with the same shit, there's
Yeah.
a
mean? Yeah,
understanding there.
it brings you together, man. Trauma
It really
bonds.
does. Yeah, it does. for
Butler
sure.
County EMS is literally my family. That's
Man,
family.
I see that. I see that on your posts. You guys all like, check it in. Like,
Well, and you were going through some shit. You were dealing with some illness, and
Oh, when I went through terminal
Had your back,
cancer,
yeah.
they had me.
They
They
did.
had me.
they did. I was
You know.
impressed. I was like, man, they
Yeah.
really stood up for you, and and tried and did a lot of things for you. It was nice to see.
And
which, by the way, I am now. Yes, cancer-free.
Yes, buddy.
Yeah, how about that?
Yep.
That's where
beat terminal cancer in under 2 years, my friend.
That's what I'm talking about.
That is quite good.
Who you lying to?
No,
Look,
I think it tastes good.
Look.
Very hot.
It is. That's just what it is. It's too hot.
Yeah, it's just hot. But
you gotta
I took a
understand.
sip
I
of
was
it.
raised white trash, right? So
As
like,
soon as I took a sip of it, my forehead just started sweating.
I grew
Yeah.
up white trash. Like, that is, I see a fancy bottle, and probably I just convinced myself it was going to taste good before I even had it, to be honest.
There is something to
Yeah.
that too. I mean, there's something to that.
it has this cool little button snap thing, and I think that's Wolverine on the button. I don't know.
Yeah. Shout out to R&J's, one of our favorite
Yeah,
sponsors.
This is an R&J barrel pick, and I'm mixing it today with.
For something from Central Standard Brewing
Yeah,
today?
yeah. So Central Standard Brewing has started selling THC infused sparkling seltzer.
So if getting drunk wasn't enough,
Yeah. Well,
That's what's getting you through
good
the bottle.
point. Good point.
but make sure you can. I saw actually the other day, and I was awesome that I'm glad you went and grabbed one because
Yeah.
it was actually a food and booze question the other day. Somebody was asking where they can get THC infused cocktails.
So apparently that's a thing now.
Yeah.
Like
I heard it
these
is.
are popping up more and more. We had one in the fridge there.
Yeah, someone brought us
For
one
a
a couple
while.
weeks ago. These are all
Yeah, Hagler brought us.
local in THCA, so they're all 100% legal. You can get over. I'm burping one up right now, but you can get over to Central Standard Brewing is where we got
Yeah.
this one,
And
that's
they
where
had a
Papa
couple
C's
different
is today
ones.
too as well.
This
so.
one's 10 milligrams, but there was a 5, and there were.
Was there a couple other flavors? Or
Yeah,
just
there's a
that
couple
one?
different other companies and different flavors and some different things. But
Yeah. So if you want to get a little weird in the corner of the bar with your THC drinks,
I bet you Sacred Leaf has something really similar.
oh yeah, I'm sure. As soon as
These are popping up, and
you know how
usually-
how things are. One thing catches, now everybody gonna have them.
Yeah.
There's already 2 or 3 places that had them for a little bit, so they're going to be around for a
And
while.
Sacred Leaf's
How's
usually
this?
on the tip of it.
Good, I like it.
Is it?
Actually, yeah.
So-
Anything Shinerbach, I like. So.
well, yeah, I like Shinerbach too. Ever since I quit drinking to like get drunk, and I've like.
What the hell are we doing here?
Steve,
then?
you don't have
more-
to say. You don't have to say that. This
I've
is
gotten-
different. This is different.
I've gotten like
We
kind of.
accept you for who you
Well,
are.
honestly-
I've gotten like kind of picky about beers, and I've tried a lot of different stuff, and I like my dark lagers and my Irish reds and my dark ales.
Those are the ones I
Shiner
like
has
the
just
better.
been a go-to for me. I've tried a
good.
lot of different stuff, and it's good, but Shiner's, and so I saw this black lager, and I was like,
It's good.
Is it?
Oh yeah,
I'm about to find out.
that's legit. I like it. I've always liked a lot of Shinerbach, and you like the same kind of beers I do: lagers, ales, browns. Like those are my. I'm not an IPA guy. I'm not a huge.
Well, yeah, now that I drink for the taste and not the inebriation, like Bud Light doesn't do it anymore.
Right?
Well, that's. I mean, that's when people become. That's when you grow up a little bit and those people become beer connoisseurs, or you start drinking cocktails and be drunks like the rest of us. So I mean, there's 2 ways to go with that, and
I didn't grow up.
Pick
I just
your way.
wound
It's
up
like
with
an
no
R.L. Stein
time.
book.
You
You
know.
can pick your way. You guys
So-
remember those fucking books where you get to the bottom and you like go to, if you want to do this, go to page 66, or if you want to do this, go to. Those were some fucking cool books.
To choose your own adventure.
Those books were badass. Those had to be a pain in the ass to write. I mean, that'd be annoying as fuck to write.
So you guys teamed up and you do a thing called For the Valkyries.
Correct.
Yeah.
Um,
So explain what that is.
The way it started is quite interesting because Tora and I are a pretty unlikely combination. I mean, but we really see eye to eye where it matters, and we are very passionate about certain things, like the idea that nobody should have the sanctity of their body violated. They should not be forced to do anything with their body they don't want to. And that goes double for children. And so when I got here to Kansas and I found Tosa no Shugyo, well, it wasn't Tosa no Shugyo at that time.
We were in the process of forming that up at
Yeah.
the time. Yeah.
But he was doing the Japanese swordsmanship. And so I started doing that. And of course, then I learned about how problematic human trafficking in Wichita is.
Yeah.
And
oddly so, like
what,
it's kind of a big deal.
Yeah,
it's a hub.
Well, it's when you're in a flyover state with a lot of open area and you're in the central part of the country. You know, Oklahoma and Kansas have been a hub for that shit for a long time. I even remember when I was a kid hearing about trafficking through Oklahoma and Kansas.
You got I-35, which is just
flipping
right
it?
straight
Right there.
up through.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
you could be from top to bottom in about 12 hours.
Yeah.
What really astounded me was when I learned that Wichita is one of like a dozen cities roughly that the FBI considers origin cities.
Really?
Yeah.
That's where the majority of the human trafficking product comes from these dozen origin cities.
So the
and
kids
Wichita,
are getting snatched here.
Wichita, with its size, consider the size of Wichita. It's not that big.
No.
Is one of the origin
on the scale,
cities.
it's not that big.
No,
Yeah.
it barely gets to 1 million people a day during the workday. Barely.
Yeah.
And I think it's like what 500,000 people.
It's 600, right around
Is that like
600,000.
claim
was
residency?
the last one that in town, but you know things expand pretty quick, and when you talk about the workday, you know quite a bit of people come in from all of our metropolitan areas that are right outside.
Mm-hmm.
But we touch about 1 million people during a normal workday in Wichita, and that's nothing.
So a dozen or so origin cities, and we're one.
Yeah, we're one.
That's wild.
Okay,
Yeah.
and like then I learned about things how like women were being like snatched out of the Douglas and Hillside Dillon's parking lot. Women were just being like flat out kidnapped in broad daylight.
Just straight up pull up and yank them
I
in and roll
kid you
off.
not.
Jesus Christ.
No, they were waiting for them because, as it turns out, there was a lookout in that tall like townhome building, and I guess that's not happening anymore. But there was a lookout who would just sit there and like,
The
okay.
links that these people go through, and how many people they convince.
Well, it's
to
big
be a
money
part of it.
business.
Yeah, but how can you convince somebody to be a part of that?
Well,
you know,
the biggest thing is too is a lot of people don't know that it goes on here. So when you talk to them about it, they go, "Wichita?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not in my neighborhood.
Blind
They're
eye,
like,
you know?
whatever.
And I think it's just because
And
it's
it's a hard
hiding
thing
in
to
plain
convince
sight.
Yeah.
When something is hiding in plain sight,
Harder to see, isn't it?
it's a lot of times harder
you don't
to
want
see.
it. People don't want
Yeah.
to have that conversation.
Yeah.
They just
Yeah.
don't want it to happen.
Right.
You know,
So-
they don't want to do nothing about it. They just don't want it to happen.
Right.
So I learned all this stuff, and I was very moved by what I learned. So I wanted to do something about it, or for these survivors. And I went to Torah, and I said, well, here's what I want to do. I want to throw a concert and raise a bunch of money, and I want to hire you to train the women who've gone through this to be safe, teach
And
them
defend
self-defense,
themselves. Yeah.
teach them how to be safe, how to secure their safety, this kind of thing. And Tora was like, yeah, that sounds great. And I could tell, like, people come to him all the time and they're like, yeah, I'm going to do this. And, I could kind of see that he was like, oh, Steve thinks he's going to do that. And then I did it.
Well, a lot of people are full.
And then
A
I
lot of
did it.
people are full of shit.
I want to put
And
together a team.
I want to give a shout out to Crystal Johnson, who may or may not be watching this, but this is a girl who worked with me on the very first original For the Valkyries thing. Anyway, money was raised, and I gave the money to Torah, and instead of paying himself, he created a nonprofit for, Tosa Han, and he put For the Valkyries under that umbrella so that For the Valkyries
So you can
be
operate as
tax
both.
exempt.
Yeah, that's what we do. The same
Yeah.
shit.
And so we started teaching these women, and COVID hit right as we started teaching these women. We kept it going. It was like very hard to keep it going. It wasn't like consistent, and like
Starting something is difficult. Brother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
Consistency is key.
but starting it during COVID, when you've got like social distancing and all this stuff, and it was like
You got a bunch
So-
of people that bought into a bunch of bullshit, and we were all locked away for hours and hours.
You're right.
we made it through that.
Finally.
And then, I was like ready to like really go hard. And I'm like sitting here and I'm doing the groundwork, and I'm starting to feel really tired all the time, and I'm needing to sleep all the time, and I'm in all this pain. And I'm like, So I was feeling really lame, and it turns out I had terminal cancer. So the whole thing kind of sat idle while I did that. And now that I've beat cancer, I'm here and I'm like doing it. And I've put together, you saw the curriculum. I sent you the curriculum.
Yeah, that's great.
Thank you.
I know you can tell you worked hard.
You had a very eventful 5 years, brother.
Yes, I really have.
Yeah, you have.
We are going to start training a new batch of girls in May. And next weekend, we have a For the Valkyries concert where these 4 bands have come together to help us raise awareness and start a new chapter for the Valkyries that involves the extreme music scene more directly, which is going to be awesome, and I can't wait to talk about that. But they're helping us get some stuff for these women for the class. And, just some training stuff. So the class is taught in modules. The different modules are, now all this knowledge came from Torah. Torah dumped it on a piece of paper and I organized it. So, for the record, this is Torah's knowledge. Yeah. And the reason this class is so special is because Torah is like Secret Service level protection for the private sector, right?
Thank you very much.
He's a badass.
Thank you.
And he's humble about it,
He got promoted. I'm Secret Service.
So it's his knowledge, and then I had to organize it all. So I did. And created that curriculum that I sent to you and you looked at.
Yeah, that was nice.
So,
I mean, real well put together. You guys put together something that makes sense. I mean, easy to read for just someone trying to figure out what you guys are doing.
It's easy to read because they have.
Yeah, he's a good writer.
Yeah,
Steve's a good writer.
I can tell you, I can talk about it all night. I can tell you about anything you want to talk about with pertaining to this, but it's going to be an ADHD event. Yeah. So it's gonna, it's like, here you go, man. Here's all this. Put it together and make it to where
it's so hard, when you're talking about topics that are all interconnected. Like that. Like it's
well, and when you're passionate, when you're passionate, so it's you get I don't want to forget this, and here's some of this and some of this, and it gets hard to control and put it in a structure that makes sense to people that are outside of what you're talking about.
Well, it's like I've been doing trafficking rescues since 2009 here. So when we talk about things, I often get off onto, I digress into story time. And so then, we'll get together and we'll have 3 hours to get over get through the information. I've spent the entire 3 hours just telling a story.
You should do a podcast. Do a podcast.
I'm surprised he doesn't taste me.
And I'm
going
to tell you what.
Do a show. You should do a show, man. It would be good.
Yeah.
No, because I'm going to tell you what, man. Some of the stuff he tells me, I'm just like, you got to be kidding me.
You'd be surprised, dude. That true crime, that kind of shit sells. I mean, I know it's not always. And I don't know how much it is for you to relive it all the time, but
no, I actually enjoy.
Because I think
therapy.
I like it because it spreads awareness.
Talk about it.
Yeah.
And when you put a story to it, and you put some faces to it, and you put some people that maybe you rescued to it, or maybe whatever happened, then you start to get more traction with people believing you what the hell's going on around here. Instead of just saying, "Hey, we have a sex trafficking problem." Yeah. When you just say that, people are like, "Well, okay, well, bye." But if you really put some stories to it and some faces behind shit, you really get some help.
And I always knew that. I always heard that we had that this was a hub. This was a huge thing. Yeah. But to hear it put like that, like we're on the FBI's 12 origin cities in our
which such a small population of a state too. There's nobody here in Kansas.
But I think that's why
we should be looking out for each other better than that.
Yeah, but we might not have the resources being a however many thousand.
Well,
and see that's
part of
here.
We may not have the
and a lot of it probably,
and that's part of why For the Valkyries exists, because the city of Wichita and the state of Kansas aren't dealing with it much.
Can we single out the police department on this?
Every once in a while, you see that there was a bust or something, but when you factor in that we're an origin city, it is completely insignificant and almost looks like it was for show.
Well, the problem is law enforcement is completely inundated with a lot of other things, and to be fair, they look into trafficking cases.
They got to have a department for this, though, kind of, right?
They've done some good work with trafficking, but the problem is a lot of the victims of trafficking don't want to talk to law enforcement because they're afraid that, in order to get out of it, you have to find a place that you can absolutely jump to be out of it.
And ain't nobody likes talking to the police. You ain't right.
And let's talk about a lot of these people are probably picked up in like trap houses and.
Well, a lot of them are like at-risk youth.
Yeah,
homeless,
that's what I mean.
Homeless people and shit.
So the criminalization of victims is a big problem.
That's what I'm getting to. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's
explain that a little bit.
So these women are, when they're trafficked, they're put out on the street to prostitute, right?
Which is a crime.
So there you go. Like they can't.
So she gets picked up, and she's treated like a criminal because she's
Or is she going to go to the police and say, "I committed this crime"?
Well, maybe when you get picked up, I don't know. The first thing I would be like, I was forced to be out here. I'd squill on the whole damn organization. I don't know how that works.
Yeah, well, it works like you end up in a ditch. I think is how that goes.
A lot of times they don't know the mechanics of the organization that they're working
enough
for.
to know.
Fair enough. Fair enough. That makes sense.
They're also used for other things. They're used for drug trafficking and all kinds of crimes that.
Dude, that's a world I can't even believe exists.
In their mind that I've committed all these crimes. If I get busted,
I'm going down.
I'm part of it, and
they have evidence on everything I do.
And it's one of many.
They put them in a bad spot.
Of the ways
tough.
that traffickers get these women to do this. You're seeing, I guarantee you, when you drive through Wichita, you are seeing women who are being trafficked just out and about, walking the street, because this the whole thing about them being like chained up in a basement and
it's not like
that kind of thing.
We're not in these tents like in the Taken movie.
You don't have to do that. These traffickers don't have to do that. They've got leverage, and it's like you're just gonna walk out that door, and I don't have to worry about you. You're gonna come back tonight. Yeah.
We had a young lady that we were dealing with that believed she was a felon. She believed she had multiple felonies.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Was it like her trafficker was just lied to her, pimp or whatever was just lying to her?
Yeah, basically.
Keeping her scared.
Mind conditioned her that if she ever broke loose, she would have nothing. She is nothing. Totally broke her down. She had 2 young kids, in the midst of all this, doing this, and when we finally got to work with her, we did the background check. We did everything. We're like, oh, we got news for you.
You're good.
You're clean.
Yeah.
You're good.
Yeah.
And it took a while for her to come around to that.
Yeah, you've been held hostage for God knows how long.
Yeah.
That was the one whose abuser climbed a balcony to get to her in front of 2 cop cars.
We had it all set up, and I watched him
in front of 2 manned cop cars.
That was one I was particularly proud of because we had it set up. We were waiting for him. He had threatened to kill her. He did try to make good on that. He came back at about 2 o'clock in the morning. She lived up on the 2nd floor of an apartment complex. He climbed the windows to get up there, and they tased him off the 2nd floor.
Oh, man, I wish we had footage of that.
I
would love to click to this guy getting tased.
It was kind of a gratifying sound to hear him hit the pavement.
Hey, just let him shake a little.
Yeah.
Fuck that dude.
So,
how do you not?
This curriculum, it goes into all the things we just talked about, and it also goes into, we start with flipping the narrative, and that's in the name for the Valkyries, because we want to change this idea of these women as helpless victims.
Yeah.
And these women have walked through fire. They have survived in a situation where they probably shouldn't have managed to survive, but they did.
I can't even imagine
got
what some
through
of those
it,
women have been through.
Somehow got out, and here they are starting a new life with as much as the old life sucked, they had things, and now they have nothing, right? I can't think of anything more courageous, right? So that's where the name for the Valkyries came from, because the Valkyries are the warrior women of Viking culture that
and always been a super powerful women's
with superpowers.
Yeah,
and
basically,
shit,
really pretty badass.
Make it so they'll never be victims again.
Right.
Right, and that's what this training comes in, and it's like we start by addressing what it is that they've been conditioned to believe about them is a weakness, and then point out how it's not. It's actually a strength that was weaponized against them, and then move into the abuser. And here's all the things that they think make him a strong man. No, these are actually weaknesses. And then from there we go into environmental fortification, situational awareness, gray man, erasing your footprint from the internet, and all of these things that are...
people don't realize people over promote themselves on the internet, and now they know where you're at every second. When you're 6'4", 300-pound guy like me, it's not that big of a deal.
Right.
But if you're, you'd be surprised people out there are watching where them girls are going and what bars they're at by themselves and shit. That's some creepy ass shit people are on.
And if you're the 5'9" petite blonde,
you're giving
you're not fighting off in Austin.
Well, you're not, and you shouldn't be giving out every second updates of where you're at and what you're doing. And that's
the world.
When I hear about your guys' classes and stuff that you're doing, and it's a lot of victim work. Is there any thought of branching out to girls that haven't been attacked yet, so we can kind of warn? It's great to work with obviously people that have been victims, and so it doesn't come back to them again.
If I'm a dad, I want to send my 15-year-old daughter.
Which I have is really where I'm at with this.
There is a information.
I got a 15-year-old daughter.
Exactly. There's an information campaign in the works, and I can't say a whole lot about it because
it's in the works.
It's in the works, and there is some really cool shit going on with that. My God, dude. I'm going to tell you what,
well, when it gets through, we'll do another podcast. We'll talk about it again.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
there's not enough. We can't promote shit like this enough. I got time for this kind of shit all day long.
Yeah, it's very. So that's going to happen. The other thing that is now about to happen is when I came up with this, when I initially did this, I wanted it to be the extreme music scene of Wichita doing this, right?
Yeah.
I wanted to create a good thing that people in the extreme Wichita music scene could be a part of.
When you mean extreme, like the heavy metal scene?
Yeah, metal, punk, and hardcore, right?
Hell yeah.
So I wanted to create something that was ours, because I'm a fan. I used to be in bands, but I'm a fan. Something for our scene that belongs to us and has kind of a DIY street level feel to it, because that's what we are.
Yeah.
And I wanted to keep it from becoming a mainstream kind of thing, because when you have like a mainstream kind of thing and you get mainstream artists on there, next thing you know, the polo shirts show up. And next thing you know, it gets watered down.
Yeah. Well,
and next thing you know, it loses its meaning. And next thing you know, it's like raising a bunch of money to pay a CEO.
Yeah, to not pay for anything anymore.
And I didn't want that. I didn't want that for this. And I've got my love for extreme music and my passion about domestic violence and sexual assault and human trafficking. I really just wanted to bring those two things together, and it's going to stay here. And to that end, there is now a cadre of bands from the extreme music scene that are going to dedicate energy to doing what they do best, making noise.
Yeah.
And making noise about this in particular. And there have been plans talked about, and I'm not going to talk about them here.
Well, he's going to reveal them here in the next 5 minutes. We'll get him a couple more, more bourbons.
I
think the longevity and the legacy really of the movement is set in the model. You know what I mean? If you guys make a successful model and it starts working for people, I'd expect other.
Well, and you got to cause
other
it.
Entities to pop that up and move. You know what I mean? And
I think one of the things that we should mention too, going back, here I go with my ADD.
Go ahead, come on.
Here we go.
That's what this is all about.
We had a woman that was had severe mental illness, and she was being targeted.
Yeah,
and she felt she was being targeted, and she made this report, but because of her mental illness, nobody was taking her seriously.
Which happens.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Probably why she was targeted.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Nobody believed this lady.
Especially any diagnosis like schizophrenia, I'm guessing. Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know exactly what the diagnoses were, but that has happened several times. And, that becomes a trafficker's dream.
Yep.
Because it's like, oh, nobody's coming to help you. Nobody's listening to you. Oh, you're having such a hard time. You go it's called the Romeo phase, where it's like, let me help. I'll listen to you. What's happening?
Yeah.
And now
I'm here for you.
Yes, exactly. And so then they just
Gotcha.
disappear.
So
Gotcha.
this is.
I mean, that's old pimp shit.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean,
exactly.
it's really what it is.
Yeah.
And so this is the thing that me and John talk about quite a bit. John English being orphan John in my band. He was a foster kid for a long time. These aged out foster youth are 65% of this like homeless, trafficked, drug addicted populace that we have.
Yeah.
The foster kids and
when the money
aged out
runs out.
foster kids, man. Well, I'm just saying that they're at risk.
Yeah, you're right.
For it.
And when you hear John talk about it, it's another like your guys thing. You go, holy shit.
Yeah.
You're like that's the numbers. Like fuck, you don't even realize it.
Yeah.
It ends up making sense though.
It does.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because anybody that's going to do what you're talking about, oh hey, I care.
Yeah.
Tell me.
You need a place to stay.
And you don't have nobody. You don't have, and those people don't have friends going, dude, get away from that fucking weirdo.
Right.
Or someone that's gonna see what you did tonight. They don't have nobody looking over what they're doing.
Yeah.
Right.
And they're
they don't have people.
and they're inexperienced. So most of them didn't have a family structure of any kind. So a lot of them are out there with no fucking
don't
resources.
understand.
I mean, no resources money wise sucks, but when you ain't got no like skills and you don't know shit,
You ain't even got nobody to call.
you're hoping anybody just talks to you and treats you nice.
And
And that's how you get baited up.
And that's where we've ended up working well together because, Steve's a social butterfly, man. I mean, he's everywhere. He knows everybody. You can walk downtown. Back when he was living here, he would be downtown all the time, going through the bars and everything. He would give me information, hey, we've got this situation, we got that. And then I could look into it. He could stay just having his party.
Well, he can see the whole bar from wherever he's at.
Yeah, he's
You're not wrong.
He's still
You're
sitting
not
there,
wrong.
like just taking in information and going.
We call him the Watchtower.
Well, and he's got the same thing that like big people have. Like we're not gonna be hidden in a bar. You're gonna have to just run straight forward into that kind of shit.
Yeah, and
because everybody's gonna come over and talk to you.
That's not really my scene, and I'm sitting here going, man, I've got eyes and ears and everything in there. He knows absolutely everybody.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
So is this the first of this concert, or is this the second one?
Oh,
No.
there's been a couple.
This
There's
is
been
the
a couple. There's
third.
That's what I knew we talked about this one.
So
before.
the first one that I did, I did not have this training in mind. I wanted to do I wanted to do something to benefit the women in a shelter. And so I worked with that shelter and I raised money and I gave it to them, and that was the end of that. Then as I worked more with Tora and we started to talk about the human trafficking thing because I was learning about it, and he was like really into it, and he learned that I was learning about
trafficking.
we don't really. I mean, it did. I was like, he was
Tora was really
into human trafficking.
But,
Okay.
Your Honor.
He
Don't take that out of context.
He learned that I was educating myself about this and getting very, very upset about the situation.
Yeah, I can only imagine.
Happens quickly.
And I learned that he has spent the last 20 years trying to get this city to listen and been out there doing rescues and all kinds of stuff,
Hasn't been that long. Yeah.
And so,
how do we do it, brother?
Yeah, what do we do? Maybe a yearly benefit or something? Maybe something like
start
that.
Making some noise, and normally I wouldn't even have been here doing this, but I come to the realization that we got to start making
You
noise.
do. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
And-
The squeaky wheel gets the funds. The
I
squeaky
mean-
wheel gets the everything, no matter how much you think this should be.
I mean,
Go ahead.
You tell me these people are everywhere. I wonder if we can like promote, like, give me the hand sign or give me the thing. Tell me.
Yeah,
Well, it was
there's-
always,
you know,
what was it? If you see something, say something.
But but like, but what I'm hearing from them is they're afraid to say something. You know what I mean? Like they're held under mental shackles.
Yeah.
Well,
and
it's
they're held under
and it's hard to be like a
misinformation.
third party citizen and go up and be like, hey, are you all right? You know,
Yeah.
like I see some shit sometimes that looks sketchy because I'm a pretty observant person just in general. So when I see like a person that seems uncomfortable with the people that they're with, I notice that kind of shit.
Yeah, I do
so
too.
like,
I do too.
but how do we? You know, I can't just go up and be like, hey, you know, do you need to be away from these fucking dudes that
You want I should whack them? You know?
Yeah. And it's
how
like,
are they going to trust me? How are they going to trust me? Like,
Yeah.
and it's like I carry a gun on some days, but I never do to a bar, and that's where I
Right.
see the shit. That's
Yeah.
where I
That-
see the.
you know,
That
I
actually
can't even
happened.
have that, you know,
The
like-
last time I went out and did stand up at an open mic, you
listen.
You-
Let me tell that story. Do we need to? Did you get all the details of what happened that
Oh my
night?
God! Here we go.
We fired him
oh,
outside.
Oh,
After-
dude, this
Alright.
is crazy, and he was the
after
one that
I
was involved.
left. After I left, did something popped off?
Okay,
What?
so me and Steve are sitting at the Cowboy Inn, a great place of ours that we love, and there's a girl that's kind of being harassed by a guy. He's been standing at the bar all night, not really buying drinks, so I'm noticing him. And I know
last week.
and I know that no, it's been a couple weeks, but anyway, it's been. He's a guy that's I don't notice him at the Cowboy, and I usually know most people that are around there, so I'm paying him attention. Well, he comes down. He's slowly getting closer to this girl that's sitting next to Steve, and me and Steve don't know her. We ain't even talking to her. But I'm trying to talk to her because he's creeping on her. So I'm like, Steve, save this girl. You know, I'm like, and then we start talking to her a little bit, and he kind of backs off. Well, then I wake up in the morning to find out that she was jumped in the parking lot by whoever. But it gets even fucking crazier. All that's bullshit. The girl is the problem. She's the one who started a fight with a bunch of other people. She almost fought Jennifer behind the bar later after we left. And then she went outside and started talking shit to people before her Uber got there, and then they beat her up. And then she woke up the next morning and lied about getting jumped in the parking lot. You know, and I was like, damn, me and Steve saw that girl.
Because I
at
remember
first-
that. I remember that happening.
But at
I woke
first
up
it
and saw
looked.
that.
But at first it looked
Yeah,
like.
we were all there.
Yeah.
At first it looked like what you were originally talking about.
And I was like,
And-
damn, I should have done more to make sure that girl was as safe as her birthday. You know, she was partying, and we thought she ended up being a victim, and it really turns out she was being a cunt. And
But you know,
So this is actually exactly the trafficker's strategy.
and I didn't want to talk to her
Yeah.
because
All right.
it
Yeah,
felt
because-
weird.
of course it did.
Yeah.
But I did.
Explain that though. You say this is their strategy.
Yeah, give us a little bit.
This
of
is
that.
exactly
So we know
right.
so good dudes know what to look for, man.
Well, this is exactly the problem because it's so well camouflaged. Is let's just change your role. Let's say in that situation, let's say you're there to examine the meat market. You're looking to recruit. You're looking to snatch and grab. You're gonna be there a lot, and you're gonna watch, and you're gonna watch the climate. You're gonna put your finger to the pulse of that whole place.
So they're doing way more recon than we're expecting.
Yeah, they get paid to do that,
Oh wow.
and so it's very hard to.
So it's
see.
not just show up. There's a blonde. Bam. We're out of
No,
here.
it's not like that hard. You know, it's these people go willingly with it. Like, you know, I build a rapport with you. I know you.
Right. I've
Condition
seen
you.
you
I've
I've
twice.
seen you. I come in here. You're just hanging out in here. But what you're really doing is you're targeting me. You're waiting on me. Even though you might go there and 3 or 4 nights in a row, I'm not even there, but you are.
And you're trying to find my schedule.
And
I mean,
then
that's what you're doing.
I'm bumping in and out of there, but you're there. And so it looks like you're not doing anything. It looks like you just
Happen to be.
I'm
this is
always
just
here.
yeah,
I'm always
you're
here.
always
You
here.
came in. I
yeah,
was sitting here.
exactly.
Yeah.
So then eventually we find a common ground to talk on. You find some way to come in and talk to me like a freaking vampire, man. I have to
Boom,
invite you
right,
into
right.
my life.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
now you're somebody I trust. You become a confidant, a confidant. And sooner or later, hey, do you want to?
You use that trust against them.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It's like, hey, let's get out of here.
Yeah, I was. I,
You know,
I mean,
let's go.
in my mind, I've pictured more of the smash and grab jobs.
Yeah, that's
I think there's probably few and far between.
Most of the
Well, it's
work-
probably not easy. I mean, just picking up any human being and running off with them isn't easy.
no, it's not. And that grabs the kind of attention you don't want.
Yeah, you don't. I mean, you pick somebody's ass up, no matter who they are, they're gonna
It's
start
a lot.
screaming and fighting you.
It's a lot easier to kidnap somebody that wants to be with you.
Yeah, that makes way more sense.
Yeah.
The stuff you see in movies happens, but it doesn't happen very often because it's messy, and it, it calls attention.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
It's the kind
I
of
mean, because
attention.
I would be in my dumb head, who I don't deal with sex trafficking. Like,
Yeah.
I pictured more of the, like, just there's somebody, boom, there we get out of here. But that makes way more sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like when I was a kid, if I wanted to like get into the cookie jar and steal a cookie, I sure the hell didn't bum rush mom, right?
You probably had to get the cookie jar for her, you tall bastard. What the hell are you talking about?
Hey, mom,
All you have to do is hide it up there.
I got this.
kinda
I'll
like
get
a
this
rose.
for you.
You're like hiding
Yeah.
it from your mom. You want the cookies, mom? You
Kinda
can't get them, huh? Can you?
racketeering,
But
isn't
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
I do.
like
It'd be terrible if something happened to this cookie jar.
He held all the cards. I'll put it up another shelf. You'll never see these cookies again, mom.
I knew your mother.
and if you call the cops, I'll break the cookie jar.
Yeah, and that's it.
That is it.
That's it in a nutshell. You know, I mean,
Yeah, that's the long con is more their game, is what it sounds like.
It's
Well,
a long game.
and I don't
It's
even think it
patient.
has to be that long of a con, okay? Because I'm just thinking about in my world, dude. I talked to people a couple times at the bar, and
You're in.
Yeah,
and-
exactly.
A lot of them are trusting people.
Yeah, it's
Most
just
people
that.
are, and then they're
That's
hoping for the
crazy.
best. They're hoping you're not a fucking.
I remember
sex
something
trafficker
that
or whatever.
It's very
Tora
sociopathic.
said to me
that's
once.
wild. That's wild. Like, but I think it's mostly a mental game, isn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah, it is. I think you're right. I didn't even think of that angle.
That's what Torres said.
Yeah, what'd you say?
So
What
Tora
I
said something to me once that really stuck with me. He said these people are predators. He said,
Yeah.
go turn on the Nature Channel and watch Predators. I did.
Stalking.
They're patient.
Yeah.
They are.
They're patient.
Every predator stops.
And they're wait
Yeah.
in all the
Yeah.
like if you watch true crime documentaries, after a while that's what they're doing. They're looking for the right scenario, they're out there driving around for hours trying to do that shit.
I want you to like me.
Yeah.
I want you to maybe even love me, fall in love with me, fall in love with the promise of what I've got. You want to run away? What's going on with you? Why? Before I knew what trafficking really was, I was at a fast food restaurant here in town, and I watched what I believe now was somebody being taken. I watched it go down. There was an older man, younger girl, and the way it initially looked was like a mentor trying to convince somebody to go home. Almost like a pastor or something,
Someone they knew.
And you're saying they're presenting it like that.
Yeah, when you look from the outside in, it looked like that.
They're
You're
trying to frame the situation a certain way
yeah,
to where the onlooker sees
And then
what you
eventually-
thought you saw.
they left together. And I'm sitting here going, was that nowadays I look at that and I go, was that
But it's
what I
enough
think
of a
it is?
doubt. It's enough of a doubt you didn't do anything about it.
right? Because I'm like,
And what do you
this
do?
guy's gotta be like a pastor or something.
seriously, yeah. What do you do? I'm an onlooker. I see the situation. I don't know what the
I mean,
fuck
you see
just
such a skid
saw.
every day. I ain't got time to call cops every
I
5
don't know
minutes.
what the fuck I just saw.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, I was a lifeguard at the YMCA, and I believe now that I saw a boy being trafficked, a boy who was being trafficked, and at the time, I didn't recognize it. And
So you know that after the fact he was being trafficked, but at the time you didn't.
after the fact, I would be
catch it.
surprised if he wasn't.
Really?
But
Really?
you know,
I could just see you walking around in the deep end, like saving kids.
Doing God's work.
okay, can I just tell
Steve,
you?
there's another one in the deep end. All right.
Can I just tell you, I'm in
reach down.
EMS because lifeguarding sucks. You don't save lives, you yell at children. Like, dude, it's lame.
If it's
No running.
I'm kind of all right with that. I'll blow a whistle on a kid in a minute.
So,
I raised 4 kids.
I got 2 of them, so
Yeah.
shit. Yell at them all you want.
so
Listen.
yeah, but I saw that, and you know, it sucks because as you are doing this kind of thing, and you're focused on this kind of thing, you're learning as you go. So you have those moments where you look back on something because now you have a bunch of knowledge, and you're like, oh,
Damn
fuck.
it. You're like, that was right in my face, and I didn't
You know?
see shit.
and so that's part of why the information campaign is
Yeah,
becoming a
that's-
priority.
that's what I'm
and
feeling.
That's why we're going to do it. Oh my God, I can't wait till you see how it, dude. Oh, man.
I'm excited for you.
We're
I'm
not
excited
just
for
doing
you.
an information campaign, bro. We're going nuclear.
All right, yeah, fuck
Yeah.
yeah, let's do that.
Yeah. So,
So,
but
Yeah. Go ahead. Finish your thought. I got a place I want to go. But.
So I have severe ADHD, so I don't know
No.
what my thought was.
You?
We all have various levels of that shit, my friend.
I think I've got the
No.
platinum
So
card.
I mean, I guess my overall question is, I mean, how can we help? And I mean, the concert that you guys have coming up, that's an opportunity to help.
Yeah.
But on a deeper level, I mean, how can we all help? I believe that everybody watching the show right now believes in the mission. Okay,
Like, who can
I
get
think that
behind-
every fucking common decency human being out here believes in the mission.
I feel
wants
like
to help.
if you're not committing
No.
these crimes, you're behind this. If you're literally not a person that commits these crimes,
Then you
you're
want it
on the
stopped.
other side of it.
Yeah, you want to
Yeah.
yeah.
It's kind of black or white. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it is. It's really that.
Not
I
a lot
mean-
of gray area here.
I mean,
So-
when
You
you're
know what I
talking
mean?
about domestic violence, sexual assault, and human trafficking, you either do those things or you're totally against them. I mean, it's really that.
Yeah, I
If
think
people
so.
want to
I think
help,
so.
the first thing they need to do is acknowledge that this is a big problem everywhere, and it's a exponentially bigger problem in this city. Like acknowledging that first, right?
So
and then
I learned a lot on their tactics
Yeah.
today.
Today?
Like,
Oh,
yeah, I
and-
mean, yeah, this is
and the
important to share.
information campaign is going to reveal a lot more.
So if victims want to get involved with for the Valkyrie, what's the best way?
So we will. There's several ways a Valkyrie can be brought to us. One is referral from law enforcement or first responders, just in general, first responders, social workers, licensed social workers, clergy. We take referrals from all of them. If you don't have any of those and you want to get involved with this program, you can find Tosa Han on Facebook. Tosa Han Incorporated.
How we spell that?
Spell that. That's,
TOSAHAN. You can reach out
excellent.
and we can do an intake. So,
2 words?
2
Tosa
words,
Han.
yes. Yep, you'll find it on Facebook.
Sorry, I'm choking to death.
But
That's
your
good for
breath
you.
smells amazing.
That's great.
So there is a way if you're, and it sounds like you guys are really getting close to some preventative classes too as well.
The prevention isn't going to be classes; it's going to be media campaigns.
I think,
Okay.
I think
Awareness
that's important.
campaigns, basically.
Man,
Awareness
ju- ju- Just
campaigns,
the
yeah.
information that you guys
Well,
shared tonight's huge.
but I think if
That's
this,
what I'm saying. Like,
I think
share
if you
that.
really got down into this, you could find a pretty good section of women or men or who want a simple like self-defense. What do I do in these situations? Kind of training. I think that's something
Yeah.
that's could could be taught pretty easily to even to like municipal workers and to like around the city to our people that are around the city all the time and have the eyes and the ears of the city.
Yeah, there will be that in there, and that is not just going to be for people in this city.
Yeah, I mean that sounds like something
Without
that the whole
going
world could
into,
use.
dude, I'm telling you what, it's going to be awesome.
One of them.
I can't wait to find out. But in the
but-
meantime, you are a nonprofit,
Yeah.
and we can accept donations as that nonprofit, tax deductible. That's a big way to help.
Yeah.
Go to the fucking concert, have a great time. That's a great way to help.
Yeah, and what is that concert? This
So-
Friday or Saturday?
It is next week, Friday,
How
Next-
much is it to get in?
April what?
The 11th.
Yeah, April 11th, and that's a
Yeah.
Kirby show. But this is
Yeah.
a show taking donations. It's still a Kirby show. There's no cover at the door. But please come on, if you're coming out to something like this, bring $10,
Guys-
$5, $10, $15, $20 and throw it in
There's-
there.
Donate
There's
your
a-
$20 and get in, but like fucking donate 50.
You get-
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, there's a suggested donation of $10. Donate more if you don't
This
have.
is the cause.
If you're broke,
Stay home.
And
Sorry.
No, if you're broke, come anyway, because
Yeah, we do
you
need to-
there with your voice and your presence. We're expecting some media coverage.
let's go.
Nice.
Your presence will help. So don't let $10 stop you.
Saying who's all the bands we're gonna have with this, brother? Who introduce all the
Okay.
acts?
Yes, I'm excited because, well, of course, Galdrar is playing because it's something like this. Tommy Wicker is all up
Oh,
on.
of course.
Yeah.
Yeah,
know,
you got to have
love it.
Galdergar up in there.
Yeah, Tommy Wicker would like.
Their drummer quit today on
He-
April Fool's Day.
He would have been
No,
offended
joke,
if
it was a joke.
Tommy would have been offended if I hadn't asked him. You know how Tommy
Yeah,
is.
and Tommy
right?
Wicker's one of the. Shout out to Tommy.
Yeah.
He's one of our first few. I think he's really our pilot episode. If you don't count, Bro.
Tommy actually allegedly has 15 pedophiles in his backyard buried.
Really?
Yeah.
He's a pedophile killer.
Yeah.
This would
All
not
right.
surprise me.
Yeah, we put him, he
I'm
puts
not
them
saying
back in.
anything else. He's Dexter and pedophiles. We don't give a
The
fuck.
trick is to bury him vertically so they don't see him.
I bet he has an amazing garden.
That's the trick.
Oh, you go
That's-
head down?
No, yeah. Well, you bury him vertically. Yeah.
Oh, like stack them up.
Yeah.
Dude, Tommy is the nicest guy in the world. However, his hatred for people who victimize other people,
Unparalleled.
his backyard
Yes.
might be fertilized. Yeah. You know,
Yeah.
dude, I love Tommy. Right?
I'm not digging under that foundation. all I'm
Vertical.
saying.
Doomed for Death is playing, and there's another guy in that band that I love, Jared. Jared Maddox.
Jared
I'm going to
Maddox,
tell you what.
amazing guy.
I don't know.
Amazing guy. He
I
has
know.
done. He and Monica have done so much for the
Oh,
arts and
okay.
entertainment community, right? And
I agree.
Is this
I
the
mean-
Monica House people?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, is
And-
Jared not in the other band anymore?
No, Jared's like me. We have to have multiple bands. Keep ourselves.
What's his
happy.
other band?
He
Starts
had-
with an S? I'm
no,
sorry. I'm derailing us. I'm sorry. Who
you
cares?
did.
Who cares?
You-
I'm sorry.
and,
Sprook.
and you know,
thank
on
you.
a personal level, I really like Jared. He's an opinionated person, but unlike a lot of people, and opinionated people are a dime a dozen these days,
Passionate.
but unlike a lot of people, he understands what he stands for. He can articulate what he stands for. Like he, you know, it's
It's not just bullshit.
he's thought his way there, and he is a very, very smart individual. And
Well, we're going a little far
I
now.
love talking to him.
Nah, Jared's great.
I love
salt of the
conversation
earth.
with
Yeah,
him.
Jared's good
So
people.
Doomed for Death, they are playing, and then we have John Woodson's Leg.
Amazing.
Yeah, you know, it's-
Always good. I love those guys, man.
dude. I mean, they
Dustin
had me
Cates,
at
so
the
they-
name,
yeah.
right?
I don't know. The name makes me laugh. Well,
I know.
You don't know about John Woodson's leg.
But,
I know. It's awesome.
and who's that? There's one more, right?
Yes, there is.
Sin and Scar.
It's gone.
Sin and Scar.
I told you. Yes, Sin and Scar.
Sin and Scar are buddies from
Trevor.
McPherson.
Trevor.
Trevor. Shout out to Trevor. Always,
Yes,
always a good.
yes.
He's probably watching the show. He's always good to the show.
Trevor, one of my favorite people in the world. As
Trevor
well.
is the guy that brought us
Love
Glenn
that guy,
Livett over
man.
there.
Well, and what a hell of a guitarist and lead singer he is too,
Oh,
as
he's
well.
amazing.
I mean, I don't know how his poor guitars fucking work. I mean, he grips the shit out of him with them big ass paws of his he's got. Fucking poor guitars. Jesus Christ.
Also, a shout out to Jancy Scafey, who could not be here tonight. Now, she was here with she was here on this show with a certain asshole, Steve Shagwell. Fuck that guy.
I know that guy.
Yeah, fuck that
we
guy,
all dealt
right?
with that guy.
But
He
she-
hates bands. He
Yeah.
says your band sucks.
Yeah.
He hates
He's
bands.
right. He's fucking right though.
He hates bands.
95% of the time, your band does fucking suck.
He
though.
owes me money. He hurt my feelings.
He sets himself on fire
but-
a lot.
So she is actually really into this, and
Did she come on when we did the
in the
Your Band
process
Sucks
of being-
podcast?
yes, she did for
Okay.
for Shagstock.
Oh, okay, cool.
She was with Fabian, and
Oh, okay. Because I know we had a smorgasbord of guests on that show. That
yeah,
was
no, that was the one before.
Oh, okay.
That
Okay.
was the Your Band Sucks show. Then there was Shagstock. That was Jancy.
Oh,
and,
okay.
That was Jancy and Fabian. They
Fuck, I don't
appeared
know.
with that guy.
You know why you come on here so often, man? You always got something going on.
And you're doing good shit,
Yeah,
positive
yeah.
shit for the community, for the market space.
You
I
have a
mean,
great
yeah.
life. You have a great message, man.
Ducking
I always
fucking
appreciate
cancer.
having you on here. Yeah, you murdered cancer.
Yeah, dude.
Dude.
Cancer tried to murder you, and
Dude.
you murdered it back.
You don't get to put terminal cancer to bed
Murdered
too
it
often.
I made terminal cancer a single mom. Okay.
Yeah, there you go. There you go, baby.
That is fucking
Hey,
brilliant.
but I really appreciate you coming on, man. I love everything you're doing, Tora.
Yeah,
Excellent. Always good to
guys,
see you, my friend.
This is something that
It's a good team.
I think
It's a good team.
like I said, if you're not committing these crimes, you can get behind this shit pretty easy.
Yeah, and
I think like some big benefit or some big blowout show. Let's get your fucking, I don't care if we do it here or wherever we do it. It'd be fun to do something that makes this some big bucks. Not
Can
some
we
donations.
promote like public hangings, like pedophiles?
I like
Yeah,
it.
I don't.
Yeah,
I mean, if they're convicted,
In
dude,
ropes,
Monday night
like,
halftime.
as long as we're convinced that they're
That'd be kinda cool.
completely
Yeah.
guilty.
Yeah, I like it.
I don't know how you don't murk them on site.
Yeah,
I
as
mean,
long as they're
It's
completely
difficult.
guilty.
Oh, there's been stories. I mean, I've got
Allegedly.
stories.
Allegedly.
Anything I need to get to?
I mean, tasing them in their sleep kind of counts, right?
Yeah, I did that one time.
We are gonna dip off here and tell some stories. Not
hold
for
on,
you.
hold on,
Hey,
hold on.
hey.
Let's get to a few.
You got some
I
points.
skipped all the
Story time.
ads today.
Story time.
yeah.
Make sure you get out to
No, we had an ad reel today.
No, but I didn't do like our any of our shit. So make
your
sure. Is it next week or 2 weeks from now? 2 weeks
I don't know which
for the
one.
Aaron and Austin show. It's 2 weeks.
Oh, the
2 weeks
18th,
out.
The 18th.
The 18th of Friday night,
We're doing
Aaron and
the
Austin show here at the Live at the Hyde
Aaron and
Out.
Austin show presents Time
Time
and
and
Space,
baby. So come out
I'm
and
so excited. This
come
will
out and
be
be a
good.
part of a live recording for them. And then the following day is at Diaper Jam, so make sure you're out at Diaper Jam all day. Aaron's got a lot cooking up at Eberly Farms. I can't wait to tell you a bunch about
It's gonna
that.
be good.
We're gonna have a lot of
It's gonna
fun
be a lot
out
of
there at
fun.
Eberly Farms this year. Is a new venue here in town. I don't know if you guys have ever been there as kids,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
but they've kind of the new owner is willing to like do some more shit with it. They have a liquor license, they have a catering license, so they're willing to have like some cool summer shows out there.
Yeah.
And me
We're
and
gonna
Aaron,
we're going to a summer concert.
Aaron's
series.
gonna
That's
book it
all
all.
I'm going to say right now.
and I'm gonna help them promote it, and we're gonna have some fun out there. So
gonna be a
get ready for a brand new venue.
Guys, go to the For the Valkyries show. If you see something, say something.
Yeah, there we go. We'll just
Like,
keep that up going.
Just
And April 4th, Liquid Sugar, Schitt's Creek. Get up there for that. That's Annie's. Shout out to Annie for all the hard work she does for the Aaron and Austin. It's
not
Schitt's Creek.
Schitt's
Say it faster.
Sheets, like
Hey,
bed
hey,
sheets.
You
Like-
name it. You name it what you name it. I say what I say.
Damn it.
You gonna find it.
Love you.
And Schitt's Creek. Here we go.